tonight's topic is something so interesting, but it's more than just interesting because our topic or what we're going to do is to have a real talk about life's tough questions. Ako nga pala si Dao-anis and I'm the host of Growth Conversation. Our guest for tonight is a former philosophy professor, now a financial advisor and the leader of her own unit. But also, she is the author of the book, #FYFM, Follow You, Follow Me. To join me, talk about life's tough questions, please welcome on Spotlight, Miss Malou, Coronacion. Welcome po to Growth Conversation.
Hi, good evening.
I would like to know you more on a little bit of personal level and casual level, perhaps. So, can you share with us what keeps you busy these days?
What kept me busy was this book, OMG. So this is one. Another is, of course, I have a job and I am leading a branch in AXA Philippines. So we are a team of financial advisors. We are called Team Sunstars. So right now we are very busy adjusting to the new norm. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm also busy serving sa the Feast North Luzon. And also we have this support group called Morning to Morning. So this afternoon we just had our meeting. So that's it. That's what I'm busy with lately. I had a 33-day retreat pala lately. It's called 33 Days to Morning Glory. And it's where you get to know Mama Mary and Jesus all the more, very intimately. So it's 33 Days to Morning Glory.
Now let's get into it because I've read your book and this is to be launched this coming month. And to our viewers, I highly recommend this book. It shares essential truths about life and about faith. So what we're going to do is let's get into some of the snippets and talk about each of them. Of course, we will not be covering the entire book, but just a little parts of those. So let's start with one interesting snippet of Malou. So let's start with your name. Trivia sa ating mga manunod, baka hindi pa nila alam. It's Maria Lourdes. Di ba? So Miss Malou, you said that you hated it at first. Bakit nga ba? And what made you like your name later on or even love it?
I didn't really hate it naman, but I didn't like it. I didn't like my name growing up. So my dad's watching yata downstairs. And but I asked him, I asked him a lot of times, the history of my name. So growing up, my classmates were named Elaine, Alma, Jennifer, Phoebe, Catherine. I love that name, Catherine, and Phoebe. I love that name too. So I was wondering, bakit hindi ganun yung name ko? It's so old-fashioned. Maria Lourdes, so old-fashioned. So when I asked my dad, why did they name me Maria Lourdes? His answer was very simple. It's because he said I was born in Lourdes Hospital in Manila. I was born in Lourdes Hospital. And siguro dinagdag na lang din yung Maria, So there, I was called Marilu growing up, Ilo for some, for my relatives, Malou. So that's it. I didn't like my name then. But then I learned to like it. Was that your question? When did I learn to like my name? So I was in my 30s already, and we went to a pilgrimage. Guess where? In Lourdes,
Where?
So we went to a pilgrimage in Lourdes. And the first day, when we arrived, I wasn't excited because it was kind of depressing, All I see were sick people, no? Ang daming naka-wheelchair, no? Pila dun sa site because ang daming nurses, doctors, no? So mga frontliners nandoon, no? So I just stayed in our hotel for the first siguro for the first a day and a half. No, I didn't want to go out. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, parang mga on the second day siguro, my dad told me na lumabas na ako, sayang naman yung punta ko doon, no? So I went out and I went to the site where Mama Mary showed herself like years and years ago, no? And there was this palpable feeling of, it's not really depressing, even though there were a lot of sick people, but there was this palpable feeling of hope. No, everyone was hoping, syempre, to get well.
Mm.
No, so they were willing to fall in line, no, for hours, just so they can take a bath in that uh, sa cave, no. So yun, so funny, no, when I was walking and I was feeling this hope, no, dito sa mga sick people, no? And then I was looking at the souvenir shops then. Doon ko nakita yung
Mm.
pangalan ko, talagang they were all over. They were naka-embroider sa shirt, syempre, no? Sa bags, sa mga caps, no? And that's where I began to like my name because, sick people going to Lourdes to get well and, expressing their faith, no, to
Mm.
Mama Mary for them to get well. So that was the time that I I learned to love my name and I became proud of my name. Yan.
Wow. That's beautiful. So parang your name now is like a manifestation and an expression of faith, of hope, of people wanting to get well, no? Maybe not just physically but spiritually. And I was laughing because at first I didn't like my name as well. My nickname is Chris, but my
Oh,
full name
really?
is Cristito. Cristito. But I won't tell you the story why, maybe in future episodes. But I can relate to Miss Malou, Maria Lourdes. Sa akin naman Cristito. But para mas simple is Chris, no? Now, Miss Malou, let's talk about your high school days, no? Jump tayo. Because as I was reading
Okay.
uh, uh, a part of your book, there was a time when your mother was called to your school, and it's because of something that you did, no? And you mentioned that there was this special kind of look that you saw from your mother. So please tell us about your story.
You know why I'm laughing now. My dad's watching nga kasi and I don't know if he knows my story na. So here it is. No. My high school days were really, well, the first 3 years were bad, rebellious days. Although, come to think of it, I had nothing to be rebellious about. Nothing, because my childhood was well cared for, well provided for. Uh, we weren't spoiled, no, but yun nga, well cared for naman kami. So during my high school, well, the first year was okay, and then I went to the honors section come second year, no. I think this is when my identity crisis started. Probably, I don't know where I got my definition of coolness, of cool, no, from. So I thought it was cool, to cut classes. Binubulong pa no? Maririnig din, to cut classes, no? So, and I love breaking the rules. So yung uniform ko, low yung belt, no? Low yung necktie, low yung socks. So araw-araw na lang, parati na lang akong hinuhuli ng mga uh, COCC na nandun.
Mm.
I was cutting classes and going to the arcade, no, that time. Well, until no, my shenanigans got out of hand. Got out of hand. I won't tell you exactly what I did because I want them to get the book. But
Yes.
uh, it got out of hand and there came a time na pinapatawag na talaga yung mother ko, no, sa office. So I had to concoct some story, no, for her to get there. And of course, I told a lie wherein I was the victim, no. And so my mom was all ready to defend me. So she went to the office all ready to defend me, no. But then when she came there,
Mm.
she learned the whole story, no, that I wasn't the victim. Kung ako pala yung victimizer, no. So
Oh.
when I got there, she was crying already. Tapos na yung kanilang dialogue, no, with the principal, and she was crying already. And she was telling me that hindi na daw niya ako kilala, no. I sensed there was guilt, there was sadness, no. What have I gotten into? What
Mm.
have I turned out to be? Parang ganyan, no. And there was this look. I can't forget. I really can't forget that look. Yung look niya na I didn't um realize it at first, eh, kung ano yun, eh. Siguro later, much later on na when I'm already a mother, na realize ko kung ano yung look na yun. So it was the I still love you look, however dirty, however sinful, however ugly you became, no, and that she still loves me. Yun yung look na hindi ko makalimutan.
Wow. It's like whatever you've done, I still love you. That kind of look. And thank you for sharing that. And also for saying that it came out later, no, when you were already a mother. And would like to just emphasize that part, because maybe some of our viewers have done something like that, and maybe to be reminded of that then, no. And if their parents have said that to them, or they haven't heard that, maybe it's also a message to you, whoever you're watching this, that hey, your parent, your mother loves you despite whatever you did. And that's a beautiful message. Thank you, Miss Malou, for that.
Welcome.
So ano pong ginawa nyo after that? Kasi it's like with your descriptions na wala pang details, eh, but you were describing na parang you were doing these bad things. But what did you do after that? Kasi parang ngayon you're somebody who's doing all this good and great things. So what made you turn around?
Uh, well, that was my turning point, no. After that, I became a better student, no. Uh, and I was invited to a church activity called PREX and LSS, no. So Life in the Spirit Seminar. PREX is Parish Renewal
Really?
Experience, no.
Yeah.
So of course, after that incident, I felt remorse, and so how to move forward from there is my next step. So I welcome these seminars then, no, the Life in the Spirit seminar most especially. Yun. So that was my turning point.
Wow.
I was 16 then.
You were 16.
Fourth year,
Grabe, no?
fourth year
Fourth
high
year
school.
high school, and then there was this turnaround because of that. Sabi ni Miss Berna, no, mother's love look. With that kind of look, you turned around because you thought na, ay, I'm doing all this, and I need to do something. So wow, ang galing, no? And I would like to dig deeper into that, but we'll just reserve that for the book, no? For the book. Now, jump tayo sa isa pang snippet. There's this exciting story in your book called Trip for Two. What's this? Trip
Trip for
for
two
Two
to
to
anywhere.
anywhere in the world. Yeah. Okay, share us about that story.
I was already working then, no. I was working as a financial advisor, and I also unit head na ako nun, no. So I was also starting to form my own team, no? And so my company launched this contest, and the prize is a trip for two to anywhere in the world. The contest, I think it ran for 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, no? For half a year. So imagine, trip for two to anywhere in the world,
Mm.
di ba? So
Exciting. Yeah.
yeah, exciting. At that time, I already resigned from my teaching job, but meron pa akong hangover noon eh. I was teaching history of ancient philosophy, a history of medieval philosophy, no? So I
Mm.
wanted to go where philosophy started. So I wanted to go to the birthplace, no, of philosophy, which is Turkey, Miletus, no? It's just a stone's throw, tatawid ka lang, nandiyan na yung Greece. A lot of people, ang alam nila Greece ang birthplace, but it's really Turkey, no? And
Oh.
so yeah, I worked hard for it and I prayed for it, no? And eventually I qualified as a manager, both as a manager and as an advisor. That's how hard I worked. I qualified both ways, no? Um,
Grabe.
and so the day came for the raffle. It's a raffle pala sa lahat ng qualifier, no? Magra-raffle. We went to Manila for the raffle, and that's when all these bad things started happening, no? Naiwan ko yung shoes ko. It's a formal party kasi, so may gown. And then when we came to the hotel, I learned naiwan ko pala yung shoes ko. So I had to go to the nearest department store. Tapos walang size, walang style, walang, no? So pagdating ko sa back to the hotel, nawawala yung key. So parang everything was, bad luck ba, ganyan.
Mm.
During the raffle, well, Turkey wasn't a popular tourist destination then. Hindi siya ganun ka-popular,
Mm.
not like now, no? So,
Mm.
when people would ask me, oh, saan ka pupunta sa pagka ikaw nanalo? Then sasabihin ko, Turkey. Turkey, huh? Parang, why? Ganyan yung, what a nerd. Di ba? Parang siguro ganun yung nasa isip
Yeah.
nila, no? Nerd, Turkey siya pupunta. Pero sila, Paris, syempre, South Africa, USA, ganun. Mga popular tourist destination. When we got there, I was so surprised na yung mga posters ng trip destinations, parang every third poster was Turkey.
Mm.
Ganyan. So I think they were starting to introduce Turkey as a tourist destination that time, no? Tapos yung when raffle time came, kwento ko ba to? Okay lang, no? Itong lang naman snippet na to, no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. When raffle time came, ang ganda ng raffle mga balloons, no, sa ceiling. So there were, kung 40 kami na qualifiers, 40 yung balloons, and then they will let go of the balloons naka-net, and then we were supposed to get one each. Tapos we were supposed to pop the balloons all at the same time, no? So that was the instruction. So when they let go of the balloons, kumuha ako ng isa, aba, inagawan pa ako. May umagaw pa ng balloon ko, no? So, wala na. There's only one balloon left on the
Mm.
floor. No? So, wala na akong choice. Yun na yung kinuha ko. No? And then, syempre, it turned out na that was the winning
Buti may
balloon.
naiwan.
Buti may nainda. Eksakto yun eh. Eksakto yun sa number namin. So,
Oh.
yun. That was the winning balloon. So, when I popped it, I can't believe. Parang, totoo ba itong binabasa ko? Tapos binabasa ko pa dun sa manager ko. Sir, basahin yung ato, please. Yun, trip for two to anywhere in the world. Yun, so there you go. I got my Turkey trip.
Wow, amazing, no? And it's like a fun story. It's just like a parang a story that you wanna share to a little kid to be happy, to be inspired. But I think it's something na pwede din for us adults, no? Kasi you've been working hard for this, and now the raffle, and you thought na, bakit mo ako inagawan? But it turned out na, hey, di ba? Inagawan ka ng pangit because pangit in quote, no? Because this winning balloon is meant for you. So
Yeah.
beautiful. And when I was reading that and while you're sharing that, I would always remember the lesson na nakuha ko din from a mentor, no, Brother Bo Sanchez, na yung what we think are rejections are redirection. And to me, I get that message. In your story, there are a lot of messages that we can get, no? Um, but that's just one of them, and many expressions, no? Now that's one of the fun parts. And if you get the book of Miss Malou, it's like you'll be brought to different parts of your life, to the kanina about the name, the simple things like that balloon, but also to something that is that's so moving. So let's talk about that. There's a touching snippet that you wrote about the song "Safe." Um, can you share? Can you share us that part?
Okay, that story was the first story. No, it's the first story in the fourth chapter. The chapter is entitled "Through the Valley, no, of the Shadow of Death." And I told that song is my favorite song still. No, so if they're familiar with it, it's entitled "Safe" by Victory Worship. No, and it talks about how in God's hand we are always safe,
Mm,
di ba? Under his grace, no? Under
yes.
his protection, we are always safe. But so there was this time when we sang that in the feast, no? And I had this stomach ache while singing, stomach ache and back ache, no? And my mouth was so dry. It was like a wrestling match, no, between my mind and between my mouth. I wanted to sing the song,
Mm,
but my mouth, no, wouldn't cooperate. So parang ganyan. So I told this to my to the worship team leader, no, si Brother Kerbic, and then because totoo pala yun. So meron pala talagang connection, and he was talking well, he reminded me of this seminar for neurolinguistic. That's for another story. So uh that wrestling match was because um we were in an accident a year, well, siguro mga 15 months na before that, no, previous to that experience. And of course, my mind was trying to comprehend, no, the fact that during that experience, a 3-day ordeal, I came out safe. I came out safe, but my daughter Gabby did not. No, so Gabby died in that accident. Yun lang. So there were questions, and I realized I shared this kanina sa I was speaking kanina sa morning to morning, and they wanted me to share this same story, no, ng safe. And in this story, I was asking the question, where was God during that time, no?
mm,
So that was my big question. Wasn't he supposed to, to keep us safe during that time? So I wasn't
yeah.
really worried when we were in the hospital. I wasn't really worried because I was thinking that my faith will get me through this. My God will get me through this. But um, it did not turn out that way. So I was safe, but my daughter, Gabby, didn't make it. So, yeah, that's why it was such a problem for me to sing that song.
Yeah. That's that's really an event na um I have no words to describe. I have no words to even put it, no. It's really difficult, and how kumbaga, even days have passed, weeks, months have passed. When you were singing that song, you were still asking, you were asking the Lord. And really there are a lot of questions that we have, no? And parang yun, it's really difficult to accept that. It took time, no? But you also said na now you can sing it with kumbaga you're able to, you said nga it's still your favorite. So ano po yung parang na-realize nyo with that experience, that you are now able to sing that song, that you are now able to somehow understand why that happened?
Bro, alam mo, first of all, I realized that not all questions have to be answered ba. Some questions talagang siguro wala nang answer, no? But this I was able to answer. I asked the question, where was God, no, during that time? So where was God when why did Gabi have to insist that she takes the front seat, no, during that drive? Where was God that night when the truck decided to drive with 40 tons of cement on that dilapidated trailer? I'm reading na a snippet, only a bit lang naman, kasi I realized something about this question. Where was God when we encountered the truck at the darkest part of that highway, moving at around 30 kilometers per hour, and we were driving about 90 kilometers? Where was God that minute when my son failed to see the slow-moving truck and it was too late for him to maneuver? Where was God when Justin was shouting his lungs out in the middle of the highway asking for help and several cars just passed us by? Where was God when Justin was trying to call 911 and they were asking our exact location? And of course, my distraught son could not tell them where we were. Where was God when I was so dazed, not realizing that Gabi was badly hit? Where was God when Justin felt that it was all his fault? And where was God when I was blaming myself too? So yan yung mga questions doon, no?
Yeah.
I just wanted to read this because during our morning to morning meeting kanina, this was the question: where was God during uh, the time of grieving? No, and I realized, no, just by reading this and just by asking this question, it has blessed them. It has blessed the uh, the people who attended the morning to morning kanina. No, because I went on to answer that God was there when in the presence of these three young men who came to help us that night. God was there when they took us to the hospital in a police car. No? So I looked for all these instances, all these places when God was there. God was there in the presence of friends, no,
Mm.
who came to help, no, who came to bring water, sleepers, clothes, whatever we needed. God was there in the presence of friends who were asking for blood donation online, no, during the 2 days of Gabi's operation. No? So until Gabi's cremation, God was there in the presence of all these flowers, in the presence of all these visitors, no, in the presence of all these people who helped us. So, yun lang. That's the question I asked, and I realized that Gabi is now in God's loving arms. No? So she is already safe in God's loving arms.
Amen. Amen. That's so powerful, and it's a demonstration of faith, no, of a strong faith. Those times when you were asking, "Asan siya? Asan siya?" and 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 maybe some of our viewers are asking that, maybe not now, maybe days maybe before, or maybe at one point of their life, and maybe it's in continuing to ask that question and holding on and even asking God, and then later on those answers will be revealed. Even and you yourself have said that God is there when these things happen. God is there with this. God is there. So wow, that's powerful, and thank you for sharing that. It's a wonderful story of really of faithfulness, of God, and faith in your faithfulness as well. Um, when you were grieving, you also mentioned that God took the form of a female friend who journeyed with you. Can you share us that story? Because some people might be journeying in a dark valley as well, and that would give them hope and make them cling on to their faith. Share us that story.
I have this friend, no, who I had a falling out with parang 3 years before, no? So we stopped talking to each other 3 years before that incident, no? So para a month after Gabby died, she started texting me again, no? And she started telling me, texting me almost every day, no? Sending me small messages of just being there lang. She wasn't even telling me things like, it's probably Gabby's time. That's why God took her. Walang mga ganong walang mga ganong remarks that we usually get or that we usually give, no, when we have friends who are grieving. So she was just there, and one lesson that she just taught me is to take it one day at a time. One day at a time. So um this is a common, 'di ba? It's a quote that we hear almost, 'di ba? Every now and then, 'di ba? It's wala na, common na 'yan. One day at a time, no? I but this is the time that I learned it by heart, no? It's like learning to walk again. Parang ganyan, 'di ba? One foot in front of the other. Yun yung tinuturo ng friend ko. She just became my calendar. She would wake me up and she would say, "Hey, it's Monday. One Monday at a time." Ganyan lang mga messages niya, no? Ganyan lang kasimple. One Tuesday at a time. How are you feeling today? It's Wednesday. Or sometimes she would send me mga memories namin, no? Sa Facebook. So she did that for a year and a half. She did that for a year and a half, no? She just walked with me in my valley of grief. And she would just keep on telling me one day at a time. Kung ano-ano lang pinag-uusapan namin, health, ganyan. Did you go to a psychologist already? Ganyan, ganyan lang. So I think I really believe that God took the form of a female friend, which was what I most needed at that time.
Yeah. Wow. It's like God taking the form of a female friend, God taking the form of friends in different ways, as you mentioned earlier, yung kanina when you were saying God was there in that. And thank you for also mentioning that minsan yung mga sinasabi natin sa mga nawalan are, I don't know, maybe not the best words, sana. And it's just like your friend reminding you that, hey, just take it one step at a time. And wow, that's so, for 1.5 year.
Yeah.
Grabe.
So
Grabe.
patient. She was so patient with me.
Yeah. And
There
when
were
you
times
said,
I wouldn't even answer. Alam mo yun? Yung
mm,
text lang siya and then scene zone lang ako because
mm,
I didn't feel like answering or I didn't feel like replying, pero the next day nandiyan na naman siya.
mm, grabe, no? Um, and thank you for sharing that and for recognizing that that's God. that's your friend. But yeah, that's also God. And it is in recognizing these different expressions in our lives that hey, we'll be able to appreciate it more. And when I was reading your book, and every time you share that, even now, no, just now, there's always this realization, new realization about these things about life. So, ang ganda, ganda. Um, there's a song that you mentioned, no, when you celebrate Gab's first angel anniversary, would you like to share us that, or I don't know, maybe even want to sing, but yeah,
No,
share us
siguro.
that.
um to celebrate the first, you said it now, we call it angelversary, because Gabby's now our angel, no? So we uh we planned something. We planned a party for Gabby, no, to celebrate her life along with her friends, no, with her closest friends. And we entitled it Fly. You can show the brother Chris the pictures I sent you.
Yeah.
uh, so the title was Fly, because we not naman let go of Gabby. So there nung party, another friend of mine helped me do yung mga centerpiece, no, sa table. So they were live butterflies. We were supposed to let them go. So lahat kami may hawak na butterfly, and supposed to let them go when the song Fly was being sung. Yan lang. So it was, I wanted to make that event very memorable. The song was Fly by Celine Dion. I think, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Parang first time ko rin narinig yun doon. But this was um, written by Celine Dion herself when her niece died. No, I think she was even younger than Gabi. Gabi was 20. This niece of hers died when she was, I think, mga 14 yata, if I'm not mistaken. So yan yung kanyang, shall I sing it ba? Parang hirap naman. Wait lang ah.
Yeah, take a deep breath, just and I ask you to share this because maybe some of our friends, some of our viewers need this, no? And you're sharing alone, your story alone is something that is uh, so inspiring and giving.
I'll just try so that wala lang. I'll try.
Sure.
I wasn't the one who sang it during that time eh. But I'll try. Wait lang ah. Fly, fly, precious one, your endless journey has begun. Take your gentle happiness, far too beautiful for this. Cross over to the other shore. There is peace forevermore. But hold this memory bittersweet until we meet. Yan. Hanggang dyan na lang. Fly, fly, do not fear. Don't waste a breath. Don't shed a tear. Your heart is pure. Your soul is free. Be on your way. So it's a sort of letting go of Gabi, but syempre holding on to her memories naman. No.
Wow. Ganda. Sharing that song and also your story. So that's so beautiful. Now, Miss Malou, with all these experiences from the highs to the lows to the darkest and driest, maybe not dark, but somehow, you know, like as you said,
That was dark.
into the valley.
Sorry, that was dark. That was really dark. That was
Yeah,
really Valley of the Shadow of Death. That's why I titled my chapter like that.
right, right. So to the darkest, to the driest. Um, what were the, if you are to share with us tough questions about life, maybe share us your top three. What are those questions and what are the answers that you found?
Well, I shared my first question, where was God during that, no? And so I looked for, I had to look for answer to that, no? And I found it naman. God was in the presence of friends, no? God was in the presence of all the help I got, no? During those 3-day ordeal, and not only that, during my grief, no? God would show himself in the smile of a stranger, no? In the, even the flowers that were given during the wake, no? Those nakaka-uplift pala talaga, because during the wake of Gabi, parang forest talaga yung second floor ng Baguio. Ano na yung, ano na nga yung place na yun? Baguio. Hindi siya St. Peter. Yun dun, anyway. So where we held the wake, no? So we occupied the whole second floor until the stairs hanggang sa pababa. Na-occupy namin yung may neighbor kami na may wake din, but of course it didn't matter naman, hindi naman nila inano yun, no? Tinake against us. Talagang punong-puno ng flowers, parang forest, and it's so uplifting, no? So God was there, so I had to look for that answer. In the course of writing this book then, when I started this book, di ba sabi ko, I wanted to make 52 snippets. I called it snippets kasi mga short stories lang. And the number 52 is important to me because I'm 52 years old ba. Ganyan. So I just wanted to write 52 stories of God's faithfulness, no? That was the plan, di ba? But in the course of writing the book, something else unfolded. I realized something else, no? And that is that we are all pilgrims. We are all travelers. We are all pilgrims, and that's what I realized. Um, it's even scattered throughout the Psalm, throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament, diba? In Psalm 119, it says, "I am a stranger on earth," no? Or in 1 Chronicles, it says, "We are all foreigners, and our days on earth are like a shadow." So we are just going to pass by, no? We are just sojourners, visitors, no? So that's one question. So if that's the case, if our life is like a dream that ends, no, when morning comes, ito yung nasa Psalm, we are like grass that grows and looks so fresh in the morning, but in the evening it is dry, no, and dying. Our time is so limited, no, but we know we are just passing through, and we are on our way where, to our home. We are on our way to our real home. We are on our way to God's kingdom, no? Where our Father is the King and where our Father is waiting for us. So the question is, how are we going to live in the here and the now? Diba? Knowing that we are just passing through, we're just, on our way to our heavenly home. It's parang kasi if you know that you're just passing, baka you won't make the most of your life. That's, baka you won't take it a day at a time. You have to take it a day at a time. So that's my answer, yung pa rin, yung one day at a time, no? So how do we live in the here and the now without sacrificing mindfulness? No? Yeah. So that's one question, and that's one answer. We have to take it one day at a time.
One day at a time. Yeah.
I will answer more of that. I have snippets called learn how to die and learn how to die and learn how to live. Yeah. So that's where I will answer it talaga.
Tama. Wow, powerful.
These are just the result of all my experience, no, my relationship with God. I really realized that we are just passing through, no? I hope this will count all these experiences that I shared. No, I hope this will bless
Yeah.
my readers.
Right, right. It blessed me so much. And there our viewers now are even saying that, hey, that's a powerful story, so touching. Sabi ni Miss Lina, so proud of you. Let me see this. So proud of you, Malou. Keep that strength in your faith. Miss you and your siblings, sabi na. So beautiful. There's more that we'd like to share, but again, just get her book. But I'd like to ask this question, Miss Malou. It seems like songs are essential parts of your book. No, it's not a major part, but as to the number, but I think it's an essential part, element. No, why is that so?
Um, I I believe that, well, music has got. I love music. In fact, diba, dun sa about the author, I describe myself as a musicophile, a lover of music.
Yeah.
I love all kinds from opera to Broadway, especially if you will notice that. No, I love play tunes.
Mm,
And of course I love praise and worship, diba? Being a part of the worship ministry. And I realize it has gotten me through this. It has gotten me through not only the valley of the shadow of death, but even happy times. Even happy times,
right.
I can express myself through songs. No, songs. Music is really a big part of. I'm not saying I'm a good singer, but I can carry a tune siguro. But that's part of what I will offer my God.
Yeah. Actually, there's a question earlier, and I'd like to ask you. This is from one of our viewers. Um, here from Miss Alice Milesho. How did playing the starring role in the musical Voice in the Mountains make an impact to your life? Would you like to answer
Grabe,
it?
naalala pa yun? Boys, that, gosh, siguro bata ka pa nun. Anong year ba yan, Brother Chris? Hindi mo alam yan, no? Hindi mo alam yung play na Voice in the Mountains? That was the
I
first.
think I know that. That's what's this? Bishop William Brucer's story. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's the life of of Bishop Brazer. That was the first play uh,
Right.
in CCA. No? Ginagawa pa lang yung SLU CCA noon, no?
Mm.
Talaga na-raise pa yan. So, how did it... do we have time? We have like 2 minutes.
Yeah. We'll be. Go ahead.
You know who played William Brazer? Do you know? Did you
Was
watch
that?
that? Were you in elementary ba nung time na yon?
I was very young at that time, but I think I saw a DVD or a VHS of that.
That
Of
was
that
Brother
play.
Jonathan
Yes.
Logawin, yeah, who played the role of William Brazer. Um, I played the role of Tuding sister. So
Mm.
because it was Bishop Brazer who founded the Tuding Sisters, no? And I
Uh,
played the role of a mountain girl when I was 12 years old who wanted to become a nun, and I wasn't educated. So that was my role. I wasn't educated. So I was a mountain girl, wasn't educated, and so wala akong chance na tanggapin, no, sa convent unless I study. But I don't have the means to study because I
mm.
have 11 siblings and I was the eldest. So yun yung story. So
Wow.
but Bishop William Brazer took me in, and so he founded
Mm.
the Tuding Sisters because of my story. Uh, Mabilis lang siguro. Well, I really wanted to be a nun. You know that from the book, no? I have a
Yeah.
snippet on that.
Right.
Hindi lang ako pinayagan. so so in this play, I had a chance to play the nun, no? And it was really good. It contributed to my faith. Yes, there was even a time when we played it in folk arts theater. we had
Mm.
one we had one show in folk arts. Um, I fell down the stage. Siguro yun ang gusto tukuyin ni Ali. So, I fell down the stage and that was like, during the play, I fell down 12 feet. 12 feet. And the
Oh, that's
head first. Parang nag-dive. It's head first. Kasi we were used to CCA theater and my scene was nandun ako sa taas ng stage and then for how many seconds, like siguro mga 10 seconds, I'm supposed to run to the front stage, no? Run downstairs. Eh since we were almost permanent sa CCA, maganda yung pag-set up nila, no, ng stairs. So and then may ilaw sa likod. So okay lang, I can do that, I can run. But when we did it in folk arts theater. So it was a makeshift stage, no? Kasi madalian lang, one play lang. So hindi ko na-realize na hindi maganda yung pagkagawa ng stage. So I fell down 12 feet and the play was recorded na eh. Kasi it's a musical. Oh, well, ito na naman, it's musical, no? So it was recorded. So we were supposed to lip sync na lang. Even the dialogues were all recorded. So when I came out of the stage, kasi everyone, nung nahulog ako, nawalan ako ng malay. And then when I came to, may sugat na ako sa ulo, laki-laki, no? They were saying, stop the play. But I didn't want to stop the play kasi yun lang yung ano namin, no? Ang daming napuno yata namin yung folk arts ng time na yun. So I didn't stop the play and I still went out. And, you know, people were surprised na dugu-duguan na yung sister. So, dugu-duguan na, but I played the part because recorded naman. But, so may singing, may dancing. But si Brother Jonathan was really surprised and talagang nagulat siya kasi ang laki na. It was the size of a half of tennis ball daw. That was the description. Yun. So, after the play, yun, doon na ako nag-faint. Nag-faint ako. Then I woke up in the hospital na.
Wow. Wow. And now I'm just trying to understand all these things from a play to losing a daughter. It's like you are a woman a strong woman, a woman of faith. With that play and despite that accident, it's like you are an embodiment of that line, the show must go on, that life must go on, no? Powerful. And wow, I hope, I just wish we had more time. Maybe we'll bring in you back to growth conversations, but for now I just want to thank you for your stories. I'd like to ask more questions, and for sure our viewers would love to ask more questions. And sabi pa dito ni Miss Joy Ramos Diamante, sabi niya, after reading this book, you will be more sensitive. God speaking to you in every event and through every person you encounter. It is like God sending you an invitation to have a personal relationship with Him. If you already have, to deepen it. I just love it. Make sure to get a copy and give it as a gift. It is like sending out God's invitation to others. Beautiful. So, Miss Malou, so how can our viewers get a copy of your book?
We will be having a book launch, no, on the 26th of September. The book launch is entitled Messengers of Hope. So it's an online book launch of, I'll be launching this along with 5 authors. So you have already seen the first 2 authors, no? So, well, it's a free event, a free admission. So we will be sending you a link, no? So this will be on the 26th of September. Or you can message me via my Facebook account. Malou.Coronacion FB, no?
You can message her on Facebook. And really, this is one of the books that you want to have. I'd say it's one of the It's one of my favorites, no? Ganda. So
Wow,
again,
thank you.
yeah, final words for at least for this interview.
Well, I just hope, I really pray, that this book, whoever will get a hold of it or whoever will read it, will bless them. Will bless them. That's all I'm after. We'll bless them. We'll comfort them. No, and as Joy said, we'll begin to hear, God's invitation to them to follow Him. To follow Him. That's my prayer.
Amen. So beautiful. Thank you, Miss Malou. Thank you to all our viewers. But before we say bye-bye, we'd like to always close this with a prayer. Come join us in a prayer in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this moment to have this growth conversation with Miss Malou. Thank you for her story, an expression of faith, of strong faith in you, even when at times when we're asking where you are, but also in those times that you were able to really manifest your presence. Thank you for her life. Thank you for the gift of faith of Miss Malou. Continue to bless her, Lord. Continue to bless the work of her hands, her family, Lord. Keep them safe and healthy. And to all our viewers, bless them, Lord, in their life, their relationships. And we just want to entrust to you our life, our spiritual life, our faith, Lord. And even in our dreams and our words, we surrender them all to you and lift up to you through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
God bless you, everybody. Thank you, Miss Malou.
Thank you.